Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is May 19th of May I Scraplift You, which is a series started by Crystal Barrett of Pineapple Papers. And today we are scrapjacking Amber Prince, who is Dragonfly Dreams on Instagram. This is the layout that I am going to jack. Now, this is a layout she made while we were on retreat together, and I loved it then, and I knew I was going to scrapjack it, so here we are. I've got my never-ending kit for the month of May, so let's see what I can do.
Guys, so I'm starting out with this Simple Stories paper, and I decided to flip it over to cut that branding strip off because I wasn't exactly sure where it was going. And then I cut my camera paper crooked. So this trimmer, I love this trimmer. However, if it is not flat and balanced on a table, and like you're trying to trim over top of a pile of papers like I was there, it doesn't trim straight. So you got to make sure it is flat on the table when you trim. And then it works fine. So I pulled a strip of cameras off of that paper, and then I'm going to go through my small papers and scraps that I've actually saved for this kit and cut off bits and pieces. Because in Amber's layout, she has lots of long strips that she has layered on top of each other. Now, I am not going to go for as many strips, and mine is going to end up being a little bit different, but that's the best kind of scrapjack is when you take inspiration from that layout and you just go for it. So I am pulling all of those things. So I definitely have a black and white and colorful theme going on here. And also in Amber's layout, she used a toilet paper holder because her daughter saves them and washes them for her so she can use them in her scrapbooking. However, I didn't have a toilet paper roll handy. Yeah, I didn't have one handy. So I am not going to do that. I am actually going to take this round, what is this thing called? Stamping block. And I am going to put on a couple of different sprays and water them down just a little bit with some water out of my sprayer and place it down over top of the black and white paper. So it's a little bit of a brighter pink and a lighter pink, and it's going to give me the colors on there. And then, I didn't have a paper towel handy, so I just wiped it off with my hand, but it's fine, you guys, it's totally fine. I do trim down that camera a bit because it is a 12 by 12 sheet, and I don't want it to go all the way down the layout. So I first decided I better mat my photograph. And since I've got like this black and white thing going on with some pops of color, I decide that I am going to mat my photograph on some black cardstock. So this is Chloe, Lana, and Christopher, and they were at Aviation Day last year, almost a year ago now. This was in June of 2023. They were inside of one of the airplanes, and Chloe took a selfie. We also have a video of Lana giving the flight attendant spiel with the speaker, which was pretty fun. They had a great time. I have more photos of this to Scrapbook, and they are, pretty handy next to me so that I can do that. Now, this was supposed to be Magical May, and I was supposed to scrap all of the Disney photos, but honestly, I don't have very many Disney photos left to scrapbook out of the trips that I was wrapping up, and then I will be starting a new Disney trip later. I still have to order the photos, you guys. It is for when Christopher and I went to the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. So I need to, get the photos printed so I can actually make that scrapbook happen. So here I am putting the strips of papers down. And like I said, my strips are a little bit thicker and a little bit less than what Amber has going on her layout. So there will be a big gap right here, but I'm going to cover that up I already have plans for that. And then I know I'm going to cover up this larger gap that is where that black and white heart paper is. I am also going to cover that up with a photograph. That one right there that I was just talking about. I am also using this paper on two sides, on the left and the right hand side of the layout. See, I went ahead and covered up that gap with my camera paper, and then I've got that bright paper, that bright striped paper still that I need to use on there. So this is almost fitting. This strip of paper is a tiny bit smaller than I want it to be. So I am going to go ahead and cut that piece of paper so that it stretches farther down the page, and then I'll just cover up that gap as well. And now my photograph is just like the width of it is just on the cusp of being wide enough to cover up the awkward gaps from my strips of paper. It's just on the cusp. So I am going to go into my never-ending kit. I'm going to pull out another paper, and I'm going to cut that bad boy down so that it gives me a larger, thicker photo mat. I'm going to cut this down to 5x7. Now my photo is a 4x6 photo. I didn't alter that at all. And the first photo mat is about 4¼ by 6¼ So now I go ahead and I'm going to pop this down right here. It's just a matter of figuring out where I want it to go and where I want that photo mat to land on my strips. I don't want it to cover up kind of that schematic and gears diagram type looking thing. I like it. I like that there a lot. It makes me happy. I am going to start figuring out some things to place down on the layout now and get the decorative bits done. I went ahead and pulled out this line of tickets that I had in my stash, and I'm going to just adhere those straight on down and cover the join between that really cool gear drawing type thing and the bits of color. And then I'm going to go into my leaves and I'm going to build up some clusters, and I'm going to put a big old floral cluster in the center of mine. Now in Amber's layout, she's got some big old leaves, but not a big old floral cluster. And I just wanted to add that to my layout. So my leaves are not going to I just completely lost my thought. My leaves are not going to completely match with what I have on the upper part and the lower part. And that's okay, but I am going to layer them up so that I have a couple different colors and it looks a little bit different, and there is some really kind of cool and interesting things that happen on the layout. So I'm just going to get these placed down, and then I'm like, okay, I've got to put something on the center here. I know that nothing is glued down yet, and that's okay because I'm not convinced that this is the exact way I want to go. I have to pull out the florals and see what I have color-wise to see if it works. Now, it was between this big floral right here and that one that's still in the bin, and I ultimately decided to go with the one that is on the page because of the black portions of it, since there's a lot of black and white on this layout. I'm also going to bring in some yellow flowers and then some pink flowers as well. I feel like I'm kind of pulling from the bits of color that are on the layout. And I am really liking this right now for how it turns out. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to cover up that little gap that is up there in that upper... What side of the page is that? That upper left-hand corner. And then I've just got to figure out where I'm going to tuck things over here on the right, where I've got this big old giant floral cluster. And this is just going to be, you know, I'm going to try things out, move things around, and just do it until I am happy with the way it looks. I'm not trying to like follow certain rules where, you know, flowers have to grow a certain way or leaves don't actually grow that direction or anything like that. I'm just doing it so that it looks good to my eye. Like the aesthetics of it look good. So I like the different color and shaped leaves over top of each other. Do I think that they would ever grow that way in real life? Who in the world knows, and who in the world cares? Because I don't, because I like the way that they look. Now I've pulled out this sticker book that's got lots of labels on it because I had planned on creating some labels, like label clusters within here where I could put journaling or kind of layer up some letters for a title with those label blocks. And I don't do that at all. So I actually have to stop scrapbooking this layout. And then we go off to a soccer game and then we come back. And that's when I finish the layout. And you will see that soon because I'm trying to figure out where I want things before I go. I'm also bringing in this flare badge that I think is going to go there because it nestles so beautifully. But ultimately, that doesn't make it onto the layout, and I completely forgot about it, guys, that it was even an option, because when I came back home, I didn't even remember that I was thinking about that. Okay, so this is what I have come up with. I forgot to turn the camera back on, but I have added some more florally bits. I have a black heart with an orange label sticker and a word phrase that says fun times that I've used to camouflage that piece over here on the left that had that gap. Now I'm just using some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and these clear acrylic bubbles from Brutus Monroe, and I'm going to place those on the layout. So it's not going to give a whole bunch of color because the glue that has turned white, if you can see that in the video here, will actually dry matte and clear. So it's not going to add any color to this layout. It's just going to kind of enhance the color that it's sitting on because it is a clear acrylic bubble. And then I've got some little bits tucked in as well. So I have a fabric word phrase tucked in and also a love this wood veneer heart over here. Now, originally I was going to do a vertical title, but ultimately I decided against that. And I'm not going to add any more words to this layout except for the tiny bit of words on the bottom of the photo mat here where I'm writing that it's Aviation Day and it was in June 2023. And I'm just going to let, you know, the person who's looking at the layout figure out if there's a title, first of all, and if they believe it is, any one of those words could be a title, and I'd be completely happy with it. So this is my scrapjack of Amber's beautiful layouts. Be sure that you check her out on Instagram. She is a fabulous and phenomenal scrapbooker, you guys. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.